What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Banger Girl, and I'm back with another banger. First and foremost, I want to wish you guys a happy Friday. It's Friday here in New York. The weather's pretty decent. It's a little cloudy, but we're coming in at a strong 47 degrees, so I'm not mad at that. I'm hoping that we do not have any more snow. Downstate on Long Island, we haven't had we barely had any snow. So I'm just hoping that we could just finish out the month of March with no snow. Like, no more snow. No more snow, Mother Nature. But anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be mixing another one of my beats. If you watched one of my prior videos, I was discussing how in 2023, my focus is to improve my mixing and mastering skills. I want to take my production to another level, and I feel like that's one of the ways that I could do that. And with that being stated, I'm trying to minimize the money that I spend on engineers because honestly, I feel like I should know how to mix and master. I make music all the time. I create all the time. This is something that I really need to focus on. So I told y'all that I kind of want to take you on my mixing and mastering journey. We already did one video, and Sharif was kind enough to give feedback on that mix. So I'm gonna hit him up again. And hopefully, Sharif, if you're watching this video, just know that I'm gonna reach out to you because I need you to do another critique of one of my mixes. You could tell me where I need to improve, and I can show these wonderful people watching my videos where I've improved, where I need to improve, and hopefully we all learn something. So Sharif, look out for my call because it's gonna come. Like always, please make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. And without further ado, let's get it. Alright, YouTube, as you can see, I have my headphones on, so I'm ready to go. What I'm going to do first is play a snippet of the beat, and then we're going to get straight into the mixing.
Banger Girl.
Alright, so that's a snippet of the beat. It's kind of like a chill hip-hop, chill R&B beat, something you could just ride off to, catch a vibe with. So we're going to get started, and first I'm going to mix the kick drum. I'm going to solo it out. I have the loop activated, and we're just going to add a Logic EQ, one of their vintage EQs, and I'm going to go with the trusty console. I'm going to take out some of the lows, make it bigger, take out some of the lows. I'm gonna boost and take some back, then just boost a little bit. Maybe I'll move it in between the 110, 220 range, and then we just listen. I'm gonna lower it just a little bit. Now I'm gonna add a compressor. Gonna take off all the auto, put it right here, boost a little bit of the ratio, also gonna boost a little bit of the gain, add some soft distortion, adjust the release and attack. I like the knee over there. Alright, so now we're gonna mix the snare. I'm gonna add the vintage console EQ and take out some of the low gain, take out some of the lows. Definitely want to boost the mids. boost some of the high. Then I'm gonna add the same compressor that was on the kick. Just adjust it a little bit. All right, so the snare sounds a little thin. So what I'm gonna do is just duplicate the track. I'm gonna add the same exact snare on another track. And then what I'm gonna do on this snare is just boost some of the lower frequencies on this snare. So when combined, I'm hoping to get a more fuller sounding snare. So we're gonna just solo out the second snare and play around with the lower that, and then bring in the other snare, lower that. So now we have a fuller sounding snare. Go lower just a little bit. Now we have this kind of like percussion loop. So what I'm gonna do is just boost over here where I see it active. Take out some of the lows. Take out a little bit of the highs. And then again, I'm gonna add the same compressor that I've been adding on all the drums. Just adjust it a little bit. And I'm just gonna lower it so it fits in the mix better. We have the open hat. I actually think I want to put the tremolo in the open hat. Alright, so now we get to the perk sound. I already have some like effects that I put on it while I was making the beat. I have just a channel EQ, taking out some of the highs and boosting that low frequency. I have a vintage reverb, just turning the mix down just a little bit. And I have this polyverse wider, which just opens up the sound and just makes it sound wider in the field. So this is how it sounds. I'm not really going to alter it in the mixing phase because I just like the way that it sounds. All I'll do is probably just lower the volume. All right, I'm digging how the drums are sounding. Now we're gonna get to the fun stuff. We're gonna get to this funky bass. So we're gonna solo that out and just play it. So we have an EQ, took out the lows, boosted that low range frequency at around 50, 60. I took out some of the lows at the 100 to 200 range just to account for the kick drum. And then we're gonna just take out, some of the highs. Then we have this compressor. We have the threshold at about negative 20 dBs. Ratio's about like 3.5 to 1. We got the makeup gain. We're gonna just change the attack a little bit, adjust the attack. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add a plate reverb to the drums and the bass. I go with the IK TR5C SR plate, and I usually go with the classic plate 1. So the way I like to add reverbs is you start with the extreme and then you just take it back. So we're gonna turn it all the way up on the snare. And we just start bringing it back. So now we're going to put the drum and the bass on its own drum bus. Usually on the drum bus, I like to just add a tape effect, and I go to IK tape 440. Alright, I think it's time to get into the melodies. So we're going to mute the drums, the bass, and now we're going to start with this brass instrument, solo it out. I have some like effects that I put on it while I was making it just to give it that low underwater kind of sound. I have a channel EQ taking out the highs and the lows and just boosting that mid-range frequency. I got my trusty drip plugin, just adding some different textures and colors to it. And I have a Valhalla vintage verb. On the synth, I have a channel EQ, taking out some of those harsh frequencies. Again, I have a Valhalla vintage verb. I have a channel EQ that is boosting some of those areas that I took out the frequency. Then I have a compressor. I think I'm gonna add like a stereo delay to the synth sound. So we put it on its own bus, delay, and then we just add the delay to the bus track. So now what we have is on the left side, it's like delaying at 1/4. It's a 1/4 time measure, and then on the right side, it's at a 1/8. I'm just gonna increase the left side just a little bit and increase the right side a smidge as well. You hear that? And now we do the chord. Chord, we just have a Valhalla reverb. We have the channel EQ, drip plugin, and pancake panning it left to right. And we bring in the Rhodes. Again, we have a channel EQ, taking out some of these frequencies, boosting in the 800, 1000 range. Got the drip plug-in. We have a tremolo effect so that it gives the appearance that's going left to right. And then we have a little saturation, boosting the color, boosting some of those textures. Turn up the rose just a little bit. And now we're bringing in this like funky bass sound, which although it is a bass sound, it gives such a melodic vibe that I figure I just put it with the melody. I think we gotta add a compressor. We have the chord, just taking out some of the lows, the highs boosting in the mid frequency, and the reverb. Because I have so many sounds going off the same frequency, we just have to create movements. So that's why I have a lot of the pan effect. So now let's hear. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to have all the melodies going to basically like a melody bus. I'm gonna add the Slate Digital Fresh Air plugin. We add the little joyful hook. And I'm just gonna add that to the melody bus as well. Turn it down just a little bit. Pan it just to the right a little bit. So lastly, what I did was I added some effects onto the master track. I added a tape plugin, a vintage graphic EQ, and I also added a limiter, and this is how it sounds.
Banger Girl.
So I'm really digging the mix on this beat, so I'm not going to add anything to it. What I'm definitely going to do is bounce out this project and send it to Sharif, and hopefully he can hop on a video call with me and critique this mix. I'm hoping I showed some improvement from my last mix. And if you haven't seen that video, you can watch that video right now by just clicking this link up above. If you're enjoying these music production videos and you want to be notified whenever I drop this type of content, then make sure you hit the notification bell and make sure you subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments what artists you can hear on this beat. As always, stay safe, keep creating, peace.